world of Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord is full of some of the most powerful units in the medieval kingdom. From cavalry to swordsmen, archers to gladiators, there is a vast array of soldiers and playstyles to choose, but who really is the strongest? In this series, I'll be breaking down some of Bannerlord's greatest units to find out who rules once and for all. In today's episode, we're taking a look at the Vlandian Sharpshooter, a crossbowman from the west with a powerful infantry, decent melee and good armor. Why are they so goddamn good? The Vlandian Sharpshooter. These guys are all about strength and power, and my god, are they an absolute beast. Of course, you get them by going down the Vlandian route. There's nothing particularly special about them as crossbowmen, except from their use of their weaponry. Of course, with a bound crossbow, which is more powerful, some would say, than the, well, Empire equivalent, heavy bolts, ridged arming sword, and a Pavis shield. Now, this shield is a beast and can pretty much stop anything when it comes to melee. But let's just see how good they are when it comes to actual battle fighting. So here we are, the Vlandian Sharpshooters on their first bit of battle test. 50 versus 50. Now the 50, of course, are Aserai recruits, and much like the Battanian Fian test that I did, well, boy oh boy oh boy, I got all the confidence that they're going to clear through these guys pretty goddamn fast. Now, what's the difference between these guys and maybe something like an archer class or even the Battanian Fian that we tried earlier? Well, they have a lot better range. As you can see, they are starting to fire already, and already those hits are going into the enemy. Now, they really do pack a punch with those bolts as well. Their siege crossbows are absolutely deadly. And whilst the rate of fire isn't quite the same, each hit does a lot more damage. You can see people are even flying backwards when they get hit. And I think that is almost going to be it for the 50 recruits. Yep, their morale has been damaged. And like mentioned in our previous episode, the morale hits are important because each of these weapons have a certain amount of terror attached to them, which means that some will make the enemy retreat before they even manage to kill them all. And that seems like that's been what's happened here. So 50, absolutely fine. Of course, we're going to have to step this up a notch, and maybe not even a notch. Let's get this going pretty fast. You know, sometimes during these battle tests, it takes some time. So with 150 Aserai recruits up against, once again, just our 50 crossbows, they are starting to fire already. And you can see that range they've got. They're not even on any sort of elevation at this point in time. They just have superior range. Now, of course, there's a banner behind with the general, but I think most of the morale is going to go. Yeah, they're trying to form up in some sort of spread out formation. The AI will do this if they're under heavy fire. They'll put them in a loose formation, but I'm going to be completely honest, I don't think it's really going to help. These guys, they're called sharpshooters for a reason. They are so majorly accurate. Oh my god. The sheer damage that's going on here is absolutely brutal. They are getting knocked back so far. How many are left? Well, 75 down means there's about 75 left, but that is falling. And with over half their number gone, most of them are starting to retreat. They didn't even make the front line. They almost got there. But no, they didn't even make the front line. So the sharpshooters are now currently doing a fantastic job, and they can beat 3 times their number when it comes to recruits at least. But as we did with the Fian tests, I think it's important to see just how far we can push it. Maybe we can even go further. So this is where it's going to be interesting, because the Fian fought against 500 enemies. 500 of these exact recruits, and they survived it with 24 of their men left. Now, how will the Rodok Sharpshooters, Vlandian Sharpshooters, should I say, show my age, how will they fare in the same way? I've got a feeling they might be able to do just as well. If anybody is wondering, this is entirely scientific tests. There is nothing subjective about this. Every single test I do here, I've spent years and years analyzing the game, the statistics of every single troop, and making sure every test is completely fair, which is why this is on a completely different map to the last batch of tests of the Battalion Fian. If you haven't seen that video, by the way, go and check it out on the channel. It is a biggie. And the Fian, well, they really show their prowess. But there will be a time where I start to actually physically compare these two units side by side, fighting together, but also fighting against each other. Now, the next wave is starting to fire. Now, remember, there is 500 enemies here. This is an interesting one. The Fian didn't manage to take them all out by the time they got there, but their superior melee skill with their 200 weapons did really, really well. Now, I I don't think the sharpshooters are even close to being as good when it comes to melee fighting. They have these big sort of Pavis board shields, and they have one-handed swords, so their damage output is a lot less. The defense is a bit higher, but I'm going to be honest, when it comes to recruits, it doesn't really matter. These recruits are just going to be swarming you anyway. And there's a first little batch coming in that top there. I don't know exactly how they're going to fare in this situation. They are trying their best to get as close to my sharpshooters as possible, but they have been told to spread out, or are they running? There's no way. No, okay, they're not running. I thought for a second the terror caused by these crossbows was just too much for even 500. 180 have died already, and they have started to spread out, which means they are going to get closer. At this point in time, the melee is starting. Now, once I said there, yeah, we've got our one-handed swords and our shields. Got to be careful that I don't get attacked by these recruits here. Hopefully that doesn't happen. The front lines are clashing. The front lines of the crossbows are going in and fighting, whilst, of course, the back lines are still shooting. Now, the interesting thing about this is to see how they fare in melee when they're overwhelmed, because don't get me wrong, they've killed a lot, but there's still 200 recruits. Are they chasing? Yeah, don't go chasing off that one guy. Your friends are going to need help. And I've got a feeling that a few sharpshooters are going to go down, although... Oh, God. What? Do you mind, mate? I actually can't see any dead bodies at this point in time, so that is interesting. They are fleeing from the field of battle in a completely shameful display. There's no way. Still, they only lost, what, 3 men? 3 sharpshooters. 1, 2, 3. Are they all on this side? Oh my God. They actually did better than the Fian. I actually cannot believe that's happened. We're going to have to push it further. I still have not seen the limits of these guys yet. There is no way. So if we have a look at that a bit closer, 392 kills there. And they were absolutely slaughtered as well. So many of them routed because of the terror caused by these crossbows. Only 4 of them died themselves. Oh my words. I didn't expect them to start firing already. This is 750 Azurai recruits. I think this could be the max of what they can do. I still am yet to see it, but they did clean up those 500 recruits before. And that guy at the front just got absolutely mind shaken by a bolt to the skull. So I'm interested to see how much they managed to scythe through before this stampede managed to break it in. And it is a stampede. You can see the dust coming up. You can hear the footfall as well. They've killed 100 of these guys before they even get close. But yeah, they are getting really close. I mean, the enemy haven't even been ordered to go into scatter formation yet. So I think this swarm coming in is going to prove to be a bit of an issue. I'm going to head down. Yeah, they are being pushed back so fast. And they are starting to fall. Already 6 have gone down. They have been surrounded by the recruits. And that swarm seems like it is the end of the sharpshooters. However, that was so goddamn impressive. They managed to take over 500, and I think they could probably even push 600 if they got in the right situation. But oh my God, the one lone sharpshooter. Why are you running? Why are you running? No, I understand. But it is not just field battles that these guys are incredible at. No. Right then, here we are in a siege, and the sharpshooters are getting into position. Now, like I do with all these tests, I've taken away all the siege warfare elements. So I've only given them 2 siege towers and a battering ram, but no one's got any catapults, no one's got any trebuchets, because I just want to see the pure strength and power. Currently 0 kills have come in. There's guys that have been positioned down here, which, if I'm going to be honest, probably not your brightest idea. We kind of need everyone on the walls that we can, but I'm sure they'll come up when the time is right. In fact, yeah, that siege tower I think is going to come over here, so let's try and move them out and get them on this bit of wall, and hopefully... No, come on lads. Yeah, up here. Thank you very much. And hopefully that should give a little bit of extra firepower. Let's get to the front walls, lads. They do look very long. They're very long-looking fellas. And we're going to see some kills coming in. Yeah, so 10 kills so far. If we re-enable the battle UI, actually, we'll be able to see that a little bit better as the kills come in. Now, once again, they are doing a lot of damage to these boys. This siege looks like... It's going to go the way of the sharpshooters, I'm going to be honest. The way that they can defend these kind of breaches and walls is just so powerful. And, okay, there is nobody with a shield down there, which will make a big difference. However, they can penetrate through shields pretty powerfully. These crossbow bolts are really great at punching through heavy armor, and I think that's probably their main advantage. Now, look at that side profile that they've got of those recruits. Oh, God, that's so embarrassing. That is so embarrassing. Imagine being one of those those recruits and just taking that many hits. You can see that siege tower off in the far distance as well. That's even taking hits. I guess we've got some guys over on that wall doing their thing. I think these siege towers will make it to the walls because we don't really have anything that can damage them. But how many men are going to make it to the walls with them? It's dwindling so fast. They've got 350 left out of their starting number of 500. And some are starting to run. You can see the leader there is trying to usher more people to the battering ram in the middle. But you can see the sharpshooters, what they do actually aim for, the guys on the siege weaponry. You can see, if we look down here, the guys that push that siege tower will be a big target. Now, it is a harder target to hit because it's not part of the big clump. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, they do something there in terms of aiming for the right people. Oh, the guy in the battering ram has gone down, and the guy in the siege tower has... No. So, the terror that these crossbows cause is pretty effective against large numbers of enemies. The kills are already starting to come in, and I hear your screams and shouts. The Azerite wouldn't be attacking with just recruits, and no, you are very right. So we've got some infantry, some trained infantry, and even some veteran infantry scattered throughout here as well. And the footmen, well, they're still going down. 17, 18, 20 kills already. These guys just don't care whether you have a shield or not. I mean, granted, the Azerite famously have those little tiny shields on their, well, I think that's their infantry class. They are better soldiers, but yeah, those guys at the back there, they've got the big shields, so it's going to be interesting to see how they fare. But even on this center point here, I think because of the terror caused by the sheer weight of bolts, I think even these guys in the center are going to really take a beating, and that morale hit is going to, well, hopefully move on to the rest of the army. Guys, can you just do your thing, please? Defend the walls, take command of the... No. Get up here, kids. Just making sure we are doing our due diligence and doing the right amount of damage to the enemy. We've all moved position. It's all a bit of a disaster. That's going to cost us a few kills, but I still think we're going to be okay there. I just wanted to spread them out a bit because a few of them weren't actually able to fire, but now, as I said, now, can you all fire, please? Just, there we go. Able to get some shots off here. Lovely work. Lovely. More shots coming in. We're up to 68 kills at the moment. I think we got to 100 and something, closing on 200 before they retreated before, so we're not too far off that now. This is going to be our main issue because they're going to start throwing bits and pieces up here very soon. Yep, here we go. Let's just sidestep that and duck down as those Jareds go over our heads. Careful, boys. We are going to be taking some hits now. We might even lose a couple because, yeah, these are very deadly. We do know how powerful these can be. But this man here, he is doing bits. He's shooting these guys in the side, distracting them, but also doing a lot of damage. 120 kills so far, but yeah, look, they are firing back. I think we might start to lose some people there. 2 have been lost, and they are really going for it now. Let's get everybody in the right positions. They are going to move over to the other angle here just to get some better shots on the enemy. That front little bit there has been disintegrated, but ow! No. I'm not fighting here. You're not allowed to do that to me. Just don't, please. This front little bit here where they're pushing up the battering ram has been demolished, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Are they going to be able to make it? Who knows? Because we can still trigger a rout if we are good with it. It sounds like they have made it, though. The battering rams are in, and the siege towers have fallen. It's time to see how they fare in melee. Now, we know that the Battalion Fian did start to fall at this point. They weren't quite able to hold off against this sheer amount of men, but boy, oh boy, did they put up a good fight. However, I think this is where we see the weakness of the sharpshooters, as their melee skill just isn't quite the same as you would expect. In fact, we're going to get our guys to hold arrows and go in for a charge. They're going to form a little bit of a shield wall on this side, and hopefully that will help them last a little bit for longer. Sometimes if you put them into melee, they will actually all help each other out, rather than some will just try and attack and shoot and do different bits and pieces. But, oh God, I'm the commentator. Please, I'm the commentator. Don't kill me. This is not going to go too well. So they managed to kill 182 enemies, and they've done a fantastic job. Once again, though, finally they got overwhelmed. A few more kills coming in there, though, from the sharpshooters. Are they the best unit in the game? I don't know. Leave your comments down below, but this is why I think they are so good. They could take almost 700 of the enemy on their own, just 50 of them. That's why I think Vlandian Sharpshooters are so goddamn good. Are you still throwing stuff at me?